Hello everyone, I'm bringing you some exciting infinite news about Forge, so let's get into it. So, as you guys know, we'll be able to place Forge AI into Forge, I guess. Well, Campaign AI into Forge, and we just saw the video, the live stream about how to do it and all of that in the blog, so here's the news about it. So first off, what's available to spawn? There's 43 campaign units that you can spawn. Unfortunately, no flying units or like flying banshees. So no sentinels, unfortunately, and no banshees. You'll be able to, however, make them spawn out of thin air, spawn out of a drop pod, or spawn out of a phantom. So in each spawn zone, you can have up to 8 units. They can be friendly, they can be enemy, they can be marines as well. So you can definitely have the marines. The drop pods can only have one unit if they have the animation. You can change the weapons on the enemies or on the AI, and it really depends if they have the animation for it. So you cannot give like an energy sword to the grunt, right? But you can give like jackals a sniper rifle. So yeah. And again, you can set the allegiances. You can set the difficulty and behavior modifiers, which will make them sort of like, can they see, can they hear? So you can make some stealth maps out of that with those settings. So that's going to be exciting. You will also be able to guide your movement paths. You can place different sort of markers on the map, and with that, like zones, and that's the zone they'll go to. You can definitely script that. There's multiple ways of doing it. You can make it so they stay in a certain area, or you could also forge it, so you could also script it where they follow an object, where they follow you, or maybe where you mark, and then they'll go there. But to do that, it's a bit more complicated. You basically need to put a pointer or an object that they will follow when you mark. A little bit of a workaround, though. So there's 5 variants of grunts, 4 variants of jackals, 3 variants of skimmers, 5 variants of elite, 16 variants of brutes, 2 variants of hunters, 6 variants of marines, and 2 bosses. Unfortunately, the 2 bosses are the 2 variants of that Forerunner AI boss, the monitor boss. So, unfortunately. Also, important to note, you can have up to 32 AI units present on the map at one time, friendly or enemy, including Spartan bots. So again, up to 32. So how do they move? You'll be able to move them using the nav mesh, and you can place move zones and so on around the nav mesh, and they'll go to where there's a nav mesh. So if there's no nav mesh, then you need to generate it, or if it's outside of it, then they cannot go there. So difficulty-wise, you'll be able to set it differently. So you can make it so they have more health and so on. You can have it easy, normal, legendary, heroic. But you can also make it, if it scales, if there's like only 1 player, if there's 2 players, 3, 4, if it scales depending on like just the number of players in the total match, and so on. And again, like I said, you can make them deaf, blind, inactive, or have magic sight. Magic sight makes it so they can see through walls and all of that. Terrain, walls, through objects. You'll be able to make the AI be on your team or other teams, up to 8 different team allegiances. Currently, there's no multi-team, but there's only 2 teams. So if they add more teams later on, then that's going to be good. But you can also make them like fight each other in factions. You'll be able to do some AI node graph scripting. So that's 100 new nodes that are going to be added. Well, more than 100. And more than 75 of them are focused on the AI toolkit. One of the important things you'll be able to do with nodes is waves. So you can definitely have like different waves of enemies, just like in Firefight. And you can set that up so the announcer will also say like reinforcements and stuff like that. So if you want classic Firefight experience, you can definitely do that, or you can make something very creative. The events are like on gameplay start or trigger AI spawner. You can definitely do that. There's a lot of like stuff that would have to go in detail once the AI stuff is out, to really like look at the individual things. You can also enable certain AI traits like seeing the health bar on the AIs or making it so um, you are deathless to AI. The AI cannot die. You cannot be detected by AI. You can also have a thing that gives you the squad information like a debug mode, which will print out the information over the AI head, sort of like where it's spawned from, how many units are there in that squad, which squad it is, what's the squad label, which is the zone, what's the combat state, and you can also have pathfinding information, so there will be arrows that will show where the AI is trying to go. So that's good for debugging. So yes, you can definitely have AI battles. That's going to be exciting, but the stuff you'll be able to do, you can make like MOBAs, tower defense, there's a lot you can do. Of course, Forge does have limitations, and a lot of Forge is sort of trying to get around the limitations. But the possibilities are just like so big, so amazing, and I can't wait for it. But that's not all. We're getting new maps, Forge improvements, additions to the object palette. So the new maps are Barrage and Permafrost. On Barrage, it's basically like this what happened after a banished bombardment. There's craters, it's like sort of destroyed, broken, barren. Permafrost is the snow covered canvas. And, mountains, frozen ponds, ice, stuff like that. So, finally an ice and a winter snow canvas. So with that comes banished objects. So over 100 banished theme objects will be with us this update. And also there's over 100 new winter objects as well, which is going to be very, very useful. There's like winter plants, there's like vegetation, there's crystals, stuff like that. That's going to be very useful. Some of the improvements we'll be having is you'll be able to toggle object collision. So what's that all about? Basically, you'll be able to walk through objects. Why would you want that? Well, there's a lot of different reasons you might want that. If you're making a map, let's say there's a light or a fence or something and it has a collision and you don't want it to like sort of bump into the player, you can definitely toggle the collision off, and that will also help you save on budget when it comes to placing blockers. So that's going to be very, very useful. Also, you can make like hidden rooms, like hidden doors, hidden walls, stuff like that is going to be very useful. Lighting will be able to be generated much, much faster. So, for instance, Argyle took 8 minutes to generate, but now in Season 5 it'll take 1 minute to generate the lighting. Very good optimization. Additionally, new light object options are coming, which will be good to make lighting better. So there's minimal roughness, area lights, light group, spec control, near and far begin optimizations, rotating OBBs, volumetric fog per light. There's new gobos and light cones, and first person contact shadows. So some of these seem like, wait, what? What does that even mean? Okay, yeah, some of them are more technical, but they'll allow you to have so much better control of the lighting. So the type of light, specular light on objects, highlights on objects, some stuff with the volumetric fog, and new gobos, new light cones. That's like the sort of visual light, not like the light itself, but the visuals that come off of a light. There will also be reflection volume improvements. So the ability to control intensity scaler, which is the ability to control how bright the reflections are in the volume. If it's active, you'll be able to turn on and off without needing to delete the reflection volume. Blend on top, which sets the reflection volume to act as a priority in that area. So if you want, that volume, when volumes are inside of each other, which volume takes priority. And there's going to be first-person contact shadows, What does that mean? It basically improves the look of contact shadows on first person views. So if a light is casting a shadow on the weapon model, like how well will it look? Of course, when you turn stuff on, it can take a hit on the budget. So it depends, like if you have the budget for that little area, it basically just makes the shadows better on the weapons. And we're also getting massless children prefab properties. What does that mean? It basically means that you can remove the mass of an object in a prefab, except for the parent. So let's say you have a warthog, right? And then you make some like huge wings on the warthog. Those wings are going to be like so heavy and it's going to make the warthog drive really slowly. So now you'll be able to make it so they don't have mass. So the warthog will drive closer to what a normal warthog drives like, which is going to be good for prefabs. So there's going to be some PC control improvements as well. But honestly, this Forge update is just amazing. The tools it gives us, there's some good improvements, new objects, snow stuff, AI in Forge. It's just going to be so good and you'll be able to do so much. Who knows? It would be cool if you had like Husky raid with a bunch of grunts running around. Yeah. So anyways, this has been our Forge update and I can't wait for it to come out. See you guys next time.